What effect would capsicum have on triglycerides and cholesterol, for example?
Well, the studies that have been done, first of all, in animals. And what they tend to do in these studies is they feed these animals either with a standard rat chow, typically rats are the model that are used,
Okay.
or they feed them with a very high saturated fat, high cholesterol type of diet. And in those studies, they find that animals that are treated with capsaicinoids when they're consuming this high fat, high cholesterol diet, these animals tend to have lower overall triglycerides in response to an acute feeding, number one. They seem to have higher antioxidant activity, which we know could be beneficial. In fact, some
Right.
authors have suggested that this would decrease the atherosclerotic risk profile, of these animals when they're fed, high cholesterol diets. And it tends to decrease overall cholesterol in the animals, again, that are fed the high fat, high cholesterol diets.
So this is what the benefit would be from the essentially hot chili peppers.
Yes, when assuming individuals are consuming diets that are very rich in dietary fat and very rich in cholesterol, because essentially
Okay.
that's what they've done. Now, it's interesting because the animals that receive the normal rat chow and the capsaicinoid, they were not shown to exhibit any sort of change in serum cholesterol or serum triglyceride. So the point being is that if you're an individual that for whatever reason is still, despite all we know that refutes this idea, but is still consuming high saturated fat, high cholesterol rich diets, then something like this potentially would be of benefit to you. At
Okay.
least those data are available on animals that, again, are fed high fat, high cholesterol diets. If you're an individual with a normal or, quote, ideal dietary intake and your lipid panel is not ideal, your cholesterol is still 220 milligram percent and your triglycerides are, over 200 milligram percent, and you're trying to lower these things, but your dietary intake is ideal, there's really
Okay.
no evidence at this point that would indicate that if you take the capsaicinoids that your total cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol, or your triglycerides would be improved. It's really specific to cases in which you're consuming high saturated fat, high cholesterol rich diets in which the capsaicinoid may exhibit an effect. At least that's what's shown in the animal trials. To my knowledge, there have
right.
not been studies done in humans that would parallel these findings.
So there's some possibilities
There's
there.
definitely some possibilities, in particular for people that consume diets that you or I would consider to be, not ideal.
Okay.
Sure.
Not ideal. All right. Thank you very much.
Sure.